And, Coach, we come at you from the shores of Lake Erie. EA Sports has the coverage of the NFL from First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Ready up. Set, watch out. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. We ain't giving him nothing to shoot.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Here's a run on first down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard, 2nd and 11. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
50 plays. Watch out. Topper.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson connects here with a tight end, Blake Jarwin. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
A nice pickup of 23 on the 3rd down conversion. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 38.
Check 26, check 26, check 52.
They'll run to Johnson, and he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now on 2nd and 13. Wilson. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. The #1 pick, Myles Garrett, coming in to drop him. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he could vault himself right into the #1 spot.
On 3rd down, Johnson. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Here we go, D. Get off the field.
On first down, it's Haskins. It's caught by Mike Evans. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Haskins. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the... He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Charles, that makes now 5 interceptions in not even 5 quarters. Remember, he threw 4 picks last week.
And this turns into a tough situation because a lot of fans, the first thing is, oh, well, we need to change quarterbacks. This is your guy. This is your elite player. You can't just take it out like that. If I'm the coach, I make a little joke and say, you know something, big guy? We're going to change the football. So it's obvious that's the problem. It's not you. Keep firing.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Recon, 152 fighter.
To throw again, Wilson. Open man is Higgins. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Ben Banagoo in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Throwing is Wilson. Oh, and he'll just get rid of this one. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the intended receiver.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
The Browns drive about to get started. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage. From their own 40 to the other 40. The gain of 20 leads to 1st and 10. Here's Haskins to throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. Well, these are not going to be easy on a cold, snowy night, but this one is up and through. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Johnson. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. The Cleveland offense ready to go. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Haskins. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. He was trying to get it to George Kittle, his tight end, but it'll be 2nd down. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10 now. Haskins. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Now it's Haskins. And he connects with Ertz. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. A good play there as the Browns strike for 16 and a 1st down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open. He finds a way to pick up.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Shaq Lawson able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. 2nd down, Haskins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. And it's 3rd down.
It's now 3rd down and 16.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Haskins, 3rd and long. And this is caught by Evans. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this 1st quarter. From the red zone now, Haskins on 1st down. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Hamilton, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Wide, get wide.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Catch is made by Arcega-Whiteside. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds.
It's a gain of 4, and it's 3rd down.
The Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Yeah. Watch the curve. Under 10. Joker. Check three. Look at me. Go. Steve Griffin.
From the shotgun, Wilson. He's going to let this one go deep. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is
and now look at him go. The 30, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good. And it's now 21-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line.
Let's go, Heavy. Tell me what you got. What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some. Here we go.
On 3rd down, Wilson. He's going to wind up and air it out. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Officially, that'll be a 63-yard punt. Well done. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
It's our time. It's our time.
Now Haskins down around his goal line. He finds his target. It's Evans. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. The big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards. Now the big play pushes him all the way out to the 40 now for 1st down. On 1st and 10, it's Haskins. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40.
Come on, QB, come on.
Here's the backup now, the former Badger, Melvin Gordon. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 47.
57, Mike 57.
Haskins looking to throw on 1st down. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage.
You know, in golf, they often talk about playing the course. What we're seeing from this offense, they're just having fun and doing what they feel like doing today.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Larry Ogunjobi in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Browns' drive about to get started. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Haskins to throw on 2nd down. Rumbling past the 30. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And all the way up to the 33-yard line. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
On first down, Metcalf. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Check.
Off the play fake. Here's Haskins. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Throwing now, Haskins on first down. He completes it to Evans. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
Pick me up. Here we go. Switch.
3rd down. Here's Haskins. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Well, he's been the guy already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft,
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Now Haskins to throw it. And it's knocked away and incomplete. They're already and he has one touchdown in this first half, a second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful. As diverse as the running game has become in the NFL, there's still a place for the fullback position. And on that play, he gained nice yardage.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in there, Hal.
Play action. Haskins. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
Flush to his right. He finds his man Johnson. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Ready?
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, the lake effect snow set to continue for the second half of action as we are back underway. This one fielded at the 5. And a nifty return there as he's all the way up past the 40-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And again, it's Chubb. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Set, ready. Pittsburgh. Man, I got you. Man, I got you.
Now Haskins on first down. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 24-yard line. Now Gordon on first down. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough.
Down. Man read. Mike 2. Come on.
On second and 15 now. Haskins. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. But one thing's for sure, they're still taking their shots downfield, even with a big lead.
I think it's way too early to go into a shell, so I like what they're doing. Continue to take your shots. Continue to be aggressive. It's not their job to slow them.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out, and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bengals drive about to get going. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works a defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Larry Ogunjobi in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for it. The Bengals bring out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. And taken right on the 30. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. Here's Nick Chubb as they try to fire up this run game. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on third down.
So don't say nothing.
Haskins on third down. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
All day, baby, all day, all day.
6'6", pull it high.
Shoot. Alert flare.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. A nice little juke. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They go to Johnson again. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Browns drive about to get started. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, here's Haskins. And this one's incomplete. Deshaun Hamilton, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Haskins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines.
We play to win. Let's go.
At their own 16-yard line.
Ready, break.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air.
Johnson on poke free. Football's out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. The intended target, the tight end, Austin Seferian-Jenkins. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. From the gun, it's Wilson. Going deep here for Taylor. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. The Cleveland offense ready to go. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Tackled back at the 30-yard line.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. And we're back now here in Cleveland. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Calling a loss of 2 on the play, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Set, hut, 2, on the base, 2. 52's the mic. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Looking to throw, Haskins. Over the middle to Evans. They do get 18, but even that won't be quite enough. It's 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. And this works out well as it'll kick out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
At their own 11-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back.
Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Ben Banigou, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. So he got free of one tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
At their own 42-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
The end result was brute force on brute force. But think about everything that's going on if you're playing defensive tackle. You're dealing with at least one blocker across from you, trying to deal with him, shed him, and maybe even a second one before you have to try and make the tackle on the big guy.
Now Haskins, and that'll be incomplete. Now they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Charles, thinking back to what you said in the first quarter, that part of the magic elixir for a road victory for these underdogs was going to be winning the turnover battle. Well, they only have one right now. Look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, not exactly playing to the form that I subscribed, right? When you talk about winning that turnover battle, that evens things out, especially for a road team, especially for a team that's an underdog.
42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10.
Recon, 132 fighter. Now.
They begin the drive with Johnson, and he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run it here. This is their fullback getting the carry. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Not a lot of headway on that carry, but when you're dealing with a defensive line that can cover up your center, sometimes you got to think about getting out of that play. Not going to be a lot of space when that happens.
They'll try and run with their fullback. Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6.
It's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and 6.
The Browns on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This will be 3rd and 6. Now it's Haskins. He'll find Lindsey here. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first. A much better effort we're seeing from him under center this week versus last week when he threw 4 picks.
He has thrown the 1 in this game, but you're right. When you cut it down from 4 the previous week, and we always talk about adjustments, well, he made some in practice, and he continues to work on it during the game. I'm sure
and he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. It's the fullback. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys continue to pour it on. Oh, how about this? No good. Just his 2nd miss of the year, and our score will stay right where it is. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's sacked by Tremaine Edmonds.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now a throw here to his running back. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots in the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
On 1st down, Wilson. This pass complete to Higgins. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give him credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And now a carry here for their fullback. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming. This is where, you know, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, you know, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering whether they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. Nifty move. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 22 yards there, a 1st down. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And